What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be talking about a little life hack that I've discovered. Now, a lot of people suffer from depression. It's extremely common, especially during the times of the pandemic that we're living in. But I want to share with you one thing that's helped me overcome my depression. And when I'm in a bad place or in a bad mood, I'm going to share with you something that's really helped me. And I really want a lot of people to adopt this because it's extremely important. And I think it's one of the keys to being happy in life. What I'm talking about is finding a hobby. I believe that there's far too many people out there that don't have a sense of direction. They don't have a sense of clarity, and they choose to spend their time on the wrong things. So when I say spend time on the wrong things, what am I talking about? What I'm talking about is choosing to spend your time essentially in either isolation or doing non-productive tasks and not having anything that you do in your spare time to occupy your mind. I'm sure all of you out there have heard the term that idle hands are the devil's playground. So what does that mean? When your mind's not occupied and you're too busy focusing on the wrong things because you're not occupied, it creates this spiral effect that puts you into this negative headspace, right? So this is very common with a lot of people that use drugs. Because they don't have anything to occupy their time. They didn't establish a life for themselves that doesn't afford them the time to go off and do those types of things. Not always, but sometimes that's the case, right? So same thing for depression. If you come home and let's say you're by yourself, and let's say you're a single person, and you come home and you're not feeling very good, what do you do in that situation? Do you have something? Do you have a hobby that you can use in order to escape that negative thought process that's plaguing you on a daily basis? What does that process look like for you? How do you handle that? What is your coping mechanism that you've developed? For me, I've found the gym and just the fitness lifestyle to really eliminate that sense of negativity in my mind. I'm very fortunate in the regard that if I'm in a bad place, either mentally or just not feeling good about something, I can go into the gym and feel exceptional on the way out. Now, that might be different for you. You might enjoy painting. You might enjoy writing music, maybe writing books, maybe focusing on your religion. Whatever it happens to be, it's going to be different for all of us. But figure out what it is for you that will allow you to occupy your mind and provide you with that sense of happiness during that time period where you're focusing on your hobby. I find that there's a direct correlation between people that are very unhappy, don't have a sense of direction, and also don't have a hobby. That whole hobby thing and figuring out something that you enjoy doing is a creative exploratory process of figuring and trying different things out, right? You might try, let's say, going to the gym. Maybe that's not for you. Maybe you try painting. Maybe that's not for you. Maybe it's something like riding a bike. Maybe it's going for runs. But you have to try these different things and be open-minded because eventually you might find something that you truly enjoy doing, something that you could practice on a daily basis, get better at, create a sense of pride for yourself. Maybe it's knitting a sweater. Maybe you like to knit, for instance. Something as small as that can take your mind off of the negative things in your life and allow you to focus your energy into something productive that you enjoy doing. Perhaps it's making videos like I'm doing right here. This is an emotional outlet for me where I can get my thoughts out there and try to help other people. But when you're trying to craft an ideal life for yourself, I think it's very important to have a hobby that you can focus on during those times that are difficult for you. If you have difficulty coping with your emotions or the status of your life, try to sit down and think about what you really enjoy doing. Do you enjoy hiking? You know, there's so many different outlets out there, but it's all a matter of trial and error and figuring out what works for you at the end of the day. So really try to dial it in, figure out what you want, and if you are in a negative headspace, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to sit down and speak to any one of you out there. But figure out a hobby for yourself. Figure out a way to occupy your mind, push out the negativity, and hopefully embrace that experience of whatever it is that you're doing. I know it sounds a little cliche and a little corny to say this, but it's very true. If you have something that you enjoy doing on a daily basis, something that you can look forward to, that will improve your life. If you're in a negative headspace and you find yourself drinking, smoking, maybe using drugs, or maybe just sitting there crying by yourself, I've been there. I've been in all of those different situations. I know how it is. But if you can find something that you truly enjoy doing, it makes it that much easier to get through your day because you have something to look forward to. You know what I'm saying there? So sit down, think about what you enjoy doing, something that you could do on a daily basis, or maybe in a, spontaneous time period. But whatever it happens to be, sit down, think about that. It's going to be different for everybody, right? But try to think about what you enjoyed when you were a kid. What did you like doing? Maybe it was riding your bike. Maybe it was playing in the woods with your friends. Maybe it was turning over rocks and finding little reptiles in the woods. Little things like that brought me a lot of joy when I was a kid. But as we get older and we grow up, a lot of times those small little things that brought us joy don't seem as important because we have all of these other things taking precedence in our mind. So it can become difficult to try to find the time to do all of those things that once brought us joy, and we don't get that anymore. And if you're caught in the machine of life and you're going through the motions and you're not taking the time to do something that's important to you, ultimately it's not going to bode well for your mental state. You know what I mean? So sit down and think about what it is that you enjoy doing. What is something that you can do on a daily basis that brings you joy? And hopefully it's something constructive. I really like the idea of building a business. I love the idea of investing in various avenues. That brings me joy. It occupies my mind. So if you're busy and keeping yourself busy, it becomes very difficult to fall into a negative mindset because you're occupied. I'll give you an example of this. If I were to give you a manual labor task, right? Let's say I told you to chop wood, right? Well, you've got an axe in your hand, you see the log on the ground, and you need to swing that axe and hit that log and split it. There's a lot of variables in there, right? You're using your eyesight, you're using your level of coordination, you're using your arms. You're not affording yourself the time to think about other things because you need to focus on the task at hand, or else you're not going to be able to do it. That's what I'm talking about here. Find something that's going to occupy your mind like that. A lot of sports are great for that. Like, let's say you're playing football, for instance. You really can't be off in space thinking about, oh man, this terrible thing happened. You need to be in the present because of all the things that are going on. And the beauty of doing that is oftentimes you can trick your mind into getting into a better headspace. Because you're occupying yourself, it's difficult for you to harbor the negativity and focus on that negativity when you're so occupied. So if you did this for, let's say, an hour, I would bet you that on the other side of that hour, you're going to be in a much better mood because you were occupied, and you're going to allow new things to come into your mind rather than focusing on that negative thing that you've been harboring all day. So it's a very important concept and something that I really hope that you adopt and bring into your life. If you don't have a hobby, really look into it, find things that you're interested in, and don't be afraid to try new things. Even if you're not exceptional at it right away, figure out what it is that you enjoy, find something that you could do maybe on the weekends or maybe at night after work, and figure out what it is for you. But hopefully you can adopt a hobby and it'll help you escape that negative mindset that you're in. That's all I got for you guys. Thank you so much for listening. I really do appreciate it. Feel free to comment, like, and subscribe down below. Feel free to visit my website if you want some personal development coaching as well as fitness coaching. You can reach me at RTBTransformations.com. With that, guys, I'm out of here. Have a great day.